how much was the deal cracked for?
Everyone made money except for the founders, I guess.
Hi, this is Priyal, and this is the moment we all have been waiting for. Today, I have with me an empathetic poet, a teacher at heart, and the fastest bike rider in town. And they together have built a financial edtech platform by the name of Valuationary, which is touching skies with each passing day. Today, Valuationary has been acquired by Raise Financial Services at a much greater height after a lot of efforts, ceaseless determination, and zest for living life like a dream. So, guys, how do you feel? How happy are you? So, guys, how does it feel?
It feels really fast. There are two things which I want to mention here. One is how fast this deal has happened. So I think we started talking somewhere in the month of February, and by April, 15 of us, the entire Valuationary team, was at Ray's office. So I think it has already been 4 weeks. We have been working here, and there's a lot of things we've already done. So on those lines, we were pretty fast. I think हमसे इंस्पायर होकर शायद Elon Musk ने भी ट्विटर वाला डील इतना फास्ट किया. Secondly, the way we are working. There were a lot of ideas that we had 3 months back, and by today, I think we've executed. We are on the verge of executing all of them. By month of June or July, the products that we had initially thought, they'll be rolled out. So that kind of speed is something we were looking for, and with this entire transaction, how it happened, it inspired us to work faster, and that is how we are rolling out the products also in the very same way. So that is what my personal feeling is.
Quite a timeline.
To be honest, we have not had the luxury of time to reflect on what has been happening for the last 2 months. Kafi fast hua hai, as Kunal said, and we cannot be more thankful to our stars for making this all happen in a matter of 2 months. So feels fast and feels happy. Yeah.
Nice.
इट फील्स ग्रेट. मैंने अपने करियर में 3-4 प्रोडक्ट स्क्रैच से बनाए, पर कभी अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिला स्केल पे काम करने का. यहाँ पे जब से हम लोग आए तो डे 1 से स्केल पे काम कर रहे हैं. सिर्फ स्केल की बात होती है, सिर्फ नंबर्स की बात करते हैं हम लोग. तो या इट फील्स ग्रेट और काफ़ी मज़ा आ रहा है.
That was quite a timeline. So, how exactly did it all begin? Matlab, who amongst you guys approached who? And considering you're an ex-banker, you're a research analyst, you're a product manager. So, how did this story begin?
I think Pratik will describe it better, sir.
So Kunal and I used to work for a portfolio management company together, and we were doing this valuations project on a weekend basis. And as our clientele grew, we thought let's make it into a platform wherein we do valuations for various companies. With that, we scouted out for employees who can help us with the process, but unfortunately we couldn't find a fit. And we thought, यार ये ज़्यादा बड़ा problem है, लोगों को ये आता ही नहीं कि valuations करना कैसे है, and hence we started to teach valuations online. And while we were doing that, we were fortunate enough to meet my long lost school friend Mahip, and we together thought let's idealize this into a bigger platform, which is eventually came to known as Valuationary.
And meanwhile, while we were doing this valuation classes online, and we were helping candidates to learn valuations, I think in about 3 to 4 months time we were able to reach about 150 paid candidates, and that gave us a very good validation in terms of the product or in terms of the courses that we want to come up with. So
मतलब बहुत सारे jargons होते हैं, product market fit, founder market fit. हमको वो सब कुछ पता भी नहीं था उस समय. But then when we got to know कि ऐसा कुछ होता है, we thought यार हमने वैसे ही किया है. मतलब we have built Valuationary from those ground up right when we didn't know the concepts also.
it was a natural progression, and we did it unknowingly. So yeah.
And it proved to be a very profitable reunion as well.
Quite so.
Nice. Considering you guys were already employed, you guys were already working somewhere else. So why was Valuationary born?
So Valuationary was born out of necessity from founders angle and necessity from customer angle. हमको ऐसा था कि हमको अपना कुछ करना है, फाइनेंस और एजुकेशन के अलावा हमको कुछ आता नहीं था, and they clubbed very well together into this edtech platform. And customers' point of view से we understood the dire need of this in the market. People were coming to us with an ask कि यार ऐसा कुछ होगा ना, we'll definitely enroll, and that is how Valuationary was born.
Interesting. So we did a small job of like stalking you guys online, and we found out that there have been like a lineup of your LinkedIn posts wherein you guys have mentioned that many M&A fails. So I'd like to ask, what made you fall for one?
So I think to be precise, the number is 80% of M&As fail. But to look at the brighter side, 20% of them are actually successful. And on the same lines, if you put across the numbers for startups, 90% of startups also fail, and 10% of them succeed. So since day one हम लोग odds के against में ही रहे, as we can put it up. So वहाँ पे भी 10% में थे तो अच्छे से कर पाए. यहाँ पे भी हमको लग रहा है शायद 20% में रहेंगे तो will grow from here. So.
Most M&As fail, but target companies always make money. So
that is one.
Since we are a target here, we stand to lose less. But jokes aside,
Yes.
As Kunal pointed out, 90% of the startups fail, and among those 10% of the successful startups, only 20% of them are able to give investors return on a pre-series A level. एंड हमको लग रहा है यार हम वो टॉप 2% ऑफ द फाउंडर्स में तो एटलीस्ट आ गए हैं बिकॉज वी हैव बीन एबल टू मेक मनी फॉर नॉट ओनली आवरसेल्व्स we will be building the platform from ground up here on also, but for the team members that we have been very passionate about, for the investors that have backed us right from day one, so we are direly happy for those as well.
So when you guys got an internal approval of this acquisition, what was your first reaction to it? What was your first instinct?
You are in a mix of whirlwind of emotions. आपको it's like raising a kid and giving that kid away for someone else to raise. So we gave our kid to raise for it to become the highest scholar that it can be. And even Eiffel Tower, for that matter, took 2 years, 2 months and 5 days to build, and it still stands today after 133 years. And we feel similarly about our endeavor, wherein we have created that foundation in 2 years, 2 months and 5 days, and it will last for centuries to come.
Definitely.
And impulsively, like when we had received the offer, we did not have a yes or a no to it upfrontly, but we thought through it, and there was a lot of to and fro between PJ and us, and there were a lot of meetings that had happened. Again, talking about speed, I think in a month's time, somewhere we had about 20 to 25 meetings with PJ and a lot of the other people at Raise and the investors at Raise. So it was a lot of to and fro. But yes, at the end of the day, we came to a conclusion that let's go to a bigger place, a better place to build what we were building before.
As far as I remember, लास्ट तक भी अप्रूवल नहीं था, ठीक है. जब हम लोग साइन कर रहे तब भी मतलब सेकंड थॉट्स आ रहे थे कि करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए, और बस हो गया किसी तरीके से.
शायद गोलमाल है भाई, गोलमाल भी बज रहा था.
है भाई, सब गोलमाल है. क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ? आपको गाना सुनाई दिया? गाना?
ये सब बहानेबाजी है. मैं चैलेंज मार के बोलता हूँ ये साइन नहीं करने वाला.
ये तो साइन कर रहे बाबा, साइन करना, जल्दी साइन कर रहे.
Interesting. So, but eventually it happened, and you guys are very happy about it. Pratik, you had an ardent wish to pursue MBA from an Ivy League, and why suddenly a switch? Like, what motivated you to begin from the beginning?
Like every middle class guy, I wanted to do my CA with an all India rank, pursue 4-5 years of work X, and then go on to Harvard and Stanfords of the world. So much so that in fact, all my life I have been planning my journey in order to reach there. My journey towards corporate banking, from investment banking to even portfolio management, everything was planned according to the eventual goal of settling in US. But while I was doing Valuationary, we were fortunate enough early in our journey to have raised funds, and I couldn't let go of that thought कि यार मैंने किसी का पैसा लिया है और अब मैं उसको बिना utilize किए I will go to some place else. So I took that conscious call at that point in time. Let's make Valuationary. Even if it fails, I will be the best employee in the world. So that is how Valuationary started, and I gave up my dream for MBA, and I cannot thank my stars enough to do that, because it has been enrichingly overwhelming experience for creating something from ground up.
You did not give up a dream. You basically dreamt a dream in a dream. So that worked out.
Wow.
Inception.
Moving on, Kunal, you have explored yourself throughout this journey, and eventually, what made you choose to be the chief of content and, as your desk conveys, make a content factory? So, any thoughts on that?
I feel that content is very cheaply available at this point in time, given there was COVID and there were a lot of people who are making content, and a lot of content is cheaply available. And if I were to give an example, there are so many people putting it across that you can quit your 9 to 5 job, start investing, and take the example of Tim Cook and Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett makes money when he's sleeping, while as Tim Cook has to work off his ass and he has to work 24/7 to make the money, to make the kind of money that he's making. But at the very same time, they need to understand that when we are young, the return that we generally generate on a human capital is much more than what we'll ever generate in the capital markets. So say for example, even if we start investing, God forbid people have that kind of capital, even if we start investing, we'll make somewhere about 12-15% return. But while we are young, I think the usage of human capital is much more important, and the return, while we can make there, is not going to just be in terms of percentages, but rather in terms of excess. So that kind of content is being promoted on various platforms. People are really promoting that, and they're willingly they're wanting to quit their jobs, which I feel is a wrong message that is getting delivered. So on those lines, what we think here is that if we put across the right content where we do not really share a lot of opinions but facts, and based on those facts, we would let people make an informed decisions for themselves, because at the end of the day, everybody is going to have their own unique journey. Everybody is going to plan the way things everybody is going to plan things for themselves. So वो चीज़ बहुत important हो जाती है that when content is getting delivered, along with some content, there's some message also that is getting delivered, and the right message should get delivered. And if there's somebody who can do it, I think with the right team, with you, with Shubh, I think we'll be able to pull that off very easily. So yes.
Mahip, I remember us having a conversation and you telling me that how you love executing and then learning from it. So, taking a note from it, how, like, as a chief product officer, how do you manage to bring things all together, and what thoughts do you take back home every day?
एक्सपीरियंस, नॉलेज और बहुत सारा काम.
Nice. Okay, guys, so why raise, why PJ?
So when this acquisition offer came, we already had evaluated some 3 odd offers, and we were not looking to exit our endeavor at this early on journey. And it so happened that हमने PJ के बारे में इतना समझा. We talked to a lot of friends and other founders through our connections. It's much more like getting to marry your daughter, right? आप दूसरे फैमिली वालों का देखते हो, पूछते हो. वैसे ही हमने भी पीजे के बारे में बहुत सारे लोगों से बात किया कि what is the culture that he is trying to build, what he has done in his past, how he sold off his first venture Wishbug to Freecharge and eventually worked with Kunal Shah and Vijay Shekhar Sharma. And हमको लगा यार हम भी उसी जर्नी में पार्ट होना चाहेंगे, and we are what he was some 5-6 years ago, and why not hold hands with someone who has taken that journey only to expedite it. So growth and speed over everything else was our motto, and that is how we chose Raise and PJ.
And he was talking about the other Kunal Shah. So yes, and and before we got acquired, we came to Raise's office for 2 days, 3 days. We worked with them. We saw the culture that they're working in. So quite a few things we did before finally getting acquired, be it in terms of background check, or be it in terms of how culture will get fit into the organization. So we made sure that all the boxes are getting ticked, and then we finally took that decision. So yeah.
So for us, autonomy was the most important thing. और as Kunal said कि हम लोग एक्विजिशन के पहले 2 दिन यहाँ पे आए थे, हम लोगों ने इनके साथ काम करके देखा, और वो कल्चरल फिट था, वो वाइब मैच हुआ था यहाँ पे कि मतलब हमें दिख गया था कि इन लोगों के साथ काम करेंगे तो जो बड़ा पिक्चर हम लोग देख रहे थे वो फुलफिल हो जाएगा. So as far as I know, PJ is one of the first product managers of this country, और इसीलिए मेरे लिए बहुत ही बड़ा लर्निंग था यहाँ पे आके. तो yeah, that's why PJ and that's why Raise.
So what are your expectations from this acquisition?
Expectations तो अगर लेके आएंगे तो फिर थोड़े hurt हो सकते हैं. So we are avoiding that. But yes, I think the previous question, what these two guys answered, I think we've covered up this answer as well. That there are a lot of things which we wanted to do, and those things will get possible once we live the journey along
Right.
with these guys
million users in next 2 years.
on our platform.
Lovely. Right. Sounds wonderful to me. Now tell me about your team. How did you work on building this crazy team that you have? And are they all on board with this acquisition? And how much do you plan to grow together?
I'm extremely proud to say that I cannot buy talent because every person in my team, in our team for that matter, is totally motivated towards building something. मतलब मैंने जिनसे ही बात की, इवन प्रियल और संजना, राधिका, everyone in our team was first hand wanted to know यार मेरा रोल क्या होगा वहाँ पे, हम वहाँ पे जाके सेम चीज़ बनाएंगे कि नहीं बनाएंगे, and whether we'll have that independence and transparency that we have been building at Valuationary. And that is where I take pride, to have such human beings in our team who are totally motivated towards building things and not motivated towards just earning money. So that is one thing that we take home. And how did we build this team? Recognizing that possibility that ये बंदा कुछ कर सकता है कि नहीं कर सकता. More than I think that the two pillars that we stand on, transparency and independence. हमने जिसको जितना ज़्यादा दिया है या जितना ज़्यादा काम दिया है, जितना ज़्यादा responsibility दिया है, वो उतना ही अच्छे से deliver करता है. So whoever is in our team has probably got these two pillars very right.
So as Pratik rightly mentioned, we did not anywhere face any monetary issues in terms of while we were talking to the team that मेरा package इतना है, मेरा package इतना रहेगा, मेरा मतलब money was the last thing that was discussed, and more so we were discussing the roles, more so we were discussing the product that we want to build. So a very exciting product is coming up from our end, as we mentioned earlier, in the month of June, July. So on that product, we guys spoke a lot about whether it was any team member. So yeah, it was on that front. We did not think that bringing the entire team of 15 would be that easy a task, but you guys made it easier. So yeah.
और द टीम हम लोग हर किसी को पहले से जानते ही थे लगभग, और 2 क्वालिटीज़ जो हम लोग सबसे पहले देखते हैं, वन इज़ ओनरशिप एंड सेकंड वन इज़ कि उसमें कितनी भूख है कुछ बड़ा करने की, और जो हमें पूरी टीम में दिखती है. और पूरी टीम इतनी क्लोजली पैक्ड थी कि जैसे ही एक्विजिशन हुआ सारे के सारे साथ में यहाँ पे मूव हो गए. और या दैट्स इट.
So on 5th April when we came, so we had I think 16 seats reserved and all of us came together. So that was an experience in itself.
Also, to point out a fact, you guys also deserve credits for the fact that climbing on the ladder of success, you did not leave your team behind and you wanted everybody to grow together. So I think that fits perfectly here. So that was nicely done. Okay guys, let the naked truth be out today. On a very serious note, how much was the deal cracked for?
Everyone made money except for the founders, I guess. So I really would like to tell everyone that as much as this deal in terms of monetary जो भी रहा होगा, but we have made sure that every stakeholder, may it be team member or investor or even early backers, everyone is making money in terms of access, and everyone is aligned not only in terms of vision but also in terms of monetary benefits. So that's the kind of culture we always wanted to build. हमारे पास जब हम 10,000 रुपये अपनी कंपनी से दे रहे थे तो भी हमने अपने टीम मेंबर्स को 60,000 की सैलरी दी है. तो this is what we believe in and this will what we will be continuing with.
But I did not get the answer to my question.
ये राज तो हमारे साथ ही जाएगा.
All right, so last question of the segment. क्या करेंगे आप इतनी सारी धनराशि का, हमारे दर्शकों को बताएं.
GST, टैक्स, सरचार्ज, ये सब कट कुटा के कुछ 150 रुपये जैसा आ रहे हैं, तो हमने 50-50 रुपये बांटने का सोचा है.
उतने का भी प्रसाद ले लिया.
उतने का भी घर वालों ने प्रसाद लेके चढ़ा दिया.
So that is it. तो काफ़ी अलग अलग, सरकार हमारा काफ़ी बड़ा पार्टनर था इसमें, तो आफ्टर दैट हम लोग 150 रुपये डिवाइड कर रहे हैं और काफ़ी खुशी खुशी हम घर जा रहे हैं.
Lovely.
तो मैंने पर्सनली सोचा है कि मुंबई में एक सी फेसिंग बंगलो ले लूँगा,
अच्छा.
और मियामी में एक विला ले लूँगा,
अच्छा.
और आसपास का अगर कोई आइलैंड बिक रहा होगा तो खरीद लूँगा.
तो कोई भी गवर्नमेंट जो 'क्रंच' में चल रही है, DM कर सकते हैं महिप को.
लेकिन महिप तेरे को पैसा मिल रहा है?
नहीं, नहीं, नहीं.
तो 'क्रंच' में चल रही है, 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 'क्रंच' में चल रही है,
Very convenient. Thank you guys. It was a very striking conversation to remember. So I was in conversation with Pratik Bajaj, Kunal, Shah and Mahip Gupta with the newly found founders of Valuationary. Thank you.
Bye bye.